All right, race fans, welcome to TurnLeftTV. Be ready for some high-speed action tonight. Step on the gas. All right, race fans, welcome to Circuit Zandvoort. This is TurnLeftTV, and I'm your host, Heath Johnson. The High Octane Racing League GT3 Series kicks off the season at Zandvoort, a reconfigured track located in the Netherlands. And it is a classic one. It's going to be a night race, man. Somebody's going to turn out the lights, and the drivers are going to have to get those headlights on, man. Adds new challenges to an already tough track. Who's got what it takes to win the first race of the season here in the High Octane Racing League GT3 Series? Well, there's only one way to find out, and that is watch it live right here on TurnLeftTV. Well, it's the GT3 Series season in High Octane Racing League, and it kicks off tonight at Zandvoort. Who's going to be king of the night? Who's going to be the king of Zandvoort? All right, hey, thank you so much for coming in here and checking out TurnLeftTV. We got a special track here for you tonight, man. Newly released. Brand new configuration at Zandvoort. And right now these guys are in the qualification session. Again, thanks for coming in. I appreciate you being here tonight. I'm your host, Heath Johnson, broadcaster, commentator. And this is Zandvoort. It's a little bit over 4 kilometers in length. About 2.5 miles in length for you folks in the United States. 50-minute race here tonight, and we're going to bring you flag-to-flag coverage. I want to say thanks so much for coming in to TurnLeftTV and checking out the race today. Appreciate you being here. Peace to everybody out there. Hope everybody's treating each other well and behaving and safe. Please share my videos with all your friends. And again, thanks for coming in tonight and watching these races here on TurnLeftTV, whether you're watching it live or you're watching it on replay. Appreciate you supporting TurnLeftTV. If you'd like to support me further, you can click on the link down in the description of this race and head it over to the Fanatec website and give those guys a look if you're interested in purchasing something through them. Please use my link, and thanks to all those folks who have done so. I really appreciate that. I have a DD1 wheelbase myself, BMW GT2 wheel rim, and the V3 inverted pedals. And it all started off with the pedals, man. I bought those on a Black Friday deal, and then just went all in with the wheelbase and the wheel rim. So again, thanks for coming in. Please help me out there clicking on that link. If you'd like to make a donation to TurnLeftTV, oh, it's right there. The banner in the link in the banner of the channel will help you out there. Make a donation straight through PayPal. We got a good race here for you tonight. A lot of videos on here on TurnLeftTV for you to watch. If you're interested in going back and watching a whole season of races in a particular series, you can do that. We got some special events headed your way as well. So stay tuned to TurnLeftTV. Big things happening here. Speaking of big things happening, man, we got the Steve Freeze Memorial 250 coming up next Friday, man. This is a great race here and a very important race for us here at High Octane Racing League to honor our fallen hero, Steve Freeze, the number 11 car, retired number now here at HORL, and he passed away in 2011. Far too short, man. Too soon for us, and we definitely miss him. We're going to run a race in his honor, and we got some special prizes at that race too. So I'm excited about this one, man, coming up on Friday, September the 17th at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's a Steve Freese Memorial 250. Get an idea of where we are in the qualification session. Looks like Antti Rossi, the top time, 133.212 so far. Dennis Vandeven currently second on the grid in the qualification session. Dmitry Buksha is third. Nikolai Bezhikov fourth. Claudio Bardelli Jr. sits fifth in position. See Spencer Romo, John Stanley, Zach Casey, Alexander Vasilyev in ninth, and Will Dunbar in the 10th position in the qualification session. Some of those guys actually have not turned qualification laps, so they might be starting from the back. We're going to look at the GT3 Series schedule this season. Very interesting schedule, starting it off tonight here at Zandvoort, and it is a night race. So we'll add some new challenges to an already pretty challenging track and a new configuration on that track. Macau coming up next week. First city circuit of several on the schedule. Road America on September 25th on Macau. Skipping next week. We got gonna have off next week. I got to go take care of my dad on the 18th, so we'll be off that day. May run a special event there as a practice event. So Macau on the 25th. Road America on October 2nd. Adelaide, another street circuit there on October the 9th. I see Portland coming up on October the 23rd, so we got another off week there to allow for the Sim Racing Mania special event on that Saturday between the 9th and the 23rd. Dubai GP night race coming up on October the 30th. See Silverstone, great classic GT3 track there. And then finishing out the season at Singapore Bay, a great road course on November the 13th. So an interesting schedule here in the GT3 series. Tonight's race is brought to you by EliteHostingUSA.com. If you're interested in a website or also hosting your server for rFactor 2, one of 3 server packages to choose from. And excellent, that's who we have our server package with. And also I have my website through them at WordPress managed website. And any technical assistance, there's my HighOctaneRacingLeague.net website. Those guys are there to help you if you have any questions about WordPress and how to set up your own website. Taking a look at the track here at Zandvoort, just it has been reconfigured, so it's a little bit shorter than the previous. I think in 2020 it did a reconfiguration there, so it's a little bit shorter, just a shad shorter, about, I don't know, when you look about 4 or 2/10 of a kilometer, something like that, shorter. So it is a different configuration, a little bit of banking, and a great track still, nonetheless. Very fun track, one of my favorite tracks in Europe, so it's a fantastic one. A lot of guys know this track really, really well that'll be out here tonight, so expect a lot of strength here. Take a look at Antti Rossi. He's driving in the Porsche this year, or this season. Checking out our chat session there. Givaldo Linares, I believe, is going to be coming up here in the chat. Once I do a little refresh. There we go. So Givaldo says, good afternoon, everyone, and excellent transmission from HJ. So thank you, Givaldo. Buenas noches, my friend. One of our HORL regulars out on the track and also in the chat sessions. One of our biggest supporters, so I appreciate Givaldo coming in here, and one of our great Brazilian participants. And very, very dedicated to the effort. Givaldo might be out on track here in just a little while. California Speedway coming up tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Saturday Night Thunder kicks off a new season at Cali. That's right, you're going back to Cali. 110 laps there in that Cup Series season. We got a couple new drivers, new paint schemes going to be showing up tonight, I believe. Race number 1 of that 4th season of 2021, and we started off at Cali. Just under 3 minutes left to go in the qualification session. We're watching Claudio Bardelli Jr. on his qualification laps. These guys have 20 minutes. They can turn as many laps as they want. 20 minutes. Top time is Andy Rossi with a 1:33.170. See what Bardelli Jr. can throw down here in the McLaren. Oh, a little bit of a little too much oomph there around that turn for Bardelli Jr. See Lucas Simpler in the Audi. It's showing it as an Audi for me. Hopefully, who knows? I got him as an Audi. He's got a 21 on the side of the car, so I think he's an Audi. Pretty interesting color, isn't it? I don't think it's actually an Audi. I think it's I think he's actually running in the Radical. We have a little bit of an issue sometimes when they name their cars the same thing, and it comes up as a different car from one season to the next. Looks like our qualifications is over. Take a look at Dmitry Buksha as he's finishing up his qualification attempt. Take a look at our session results here in the qualification session. Dennis Vandeven qualifies in P1 with a 134.720. Is that right? We got an Antti Rossi. Oh, I think we might be still. There we go. We got that straightened out. There we go. Final results. 132.793 is Antti Rossi. Dennis Vandeven qualifies in the second position. Lucas Simpler will start third. Claudio Bartelli Jr. starts in the fourth position. You see Dmitry Buksha in the Porsche will start in P4. Nikolai Bezrikov in the... is he switching over? He's switching over to the Merc. Starts in the sixth position. Spencer Romo, seventh. Zach Casey in the Corvette starts in the eighth position. Will Dunbar in the Radical will start in ninth. John Stanley starts in the 10th position. Starting in 11th is Alexander Vasilyev. And it looks like Zakharov has joined us as well, so he'll start in the 12th position. All right, we are in the warm-up session. Thanks for joining us here on TurnLeftTV. It's Zandvoort tonight, 50-minute race. First of 8 races in the High Octane Racing League GT3 Series season. I'm your host, Heath Johnson, and this should be a fun season. Kicking it off tonight here at Zandvoort. All right, now we are in the warm-up session. About 5.5 minutes left to go in warm-up. Hey, let's take a look at the keys to the race as I see them anyway. You got to own the night, man. We're going to turn out the lights here. Sun's going to go down, and the goons come out at night, man. So it can be a little tough to deal with the track under nighttime conditions, regardless of how much you practice during the day, man. It adds a whole new level of difficulty. So you got to own the night, man. Track awareness, that goes right along with it, man. Make sure you know where you're at. What turn you're going into, also when to make passes. Risk versus reward. You know, this is going to be a little bit tougher this season because we got some penalties that are going to be handed out for rough driving. You may see drivers get drive-through penalties at the next race if they are, after review, deemed that they were engaged in some rough driving. So risk versus reward before you try to make those passes. Got to be very, very careful and not to get into somebody and cause them problems. Oh, did I say mange tires? That should be managed tires. Mange tires too. You know, if they're really dogs, man. Manage your tires. You got to take care of this stuff. You do have to do a mandatory 4-tire pit stop and change to a different compound. So those are my successes of the my keys to the race. Mange tires, risk versus reward, track awareness, and own the night. Oh my God. Let's get off that graphic. It's been a busy morning for me. I've been updating car sets and getting ready for the broadcast, so it's been a busy morning here for me after a late night of racing last night. Don't forget, next week we have a very special race coming up in the High Octane Racing League family to honor our fallen hero, Steve Freeze, one of our founding members of High Octane Racing League, 2001. And I had an opportunity to race with him, the honor to race with him. So I had an opportunity to race with him from 2001 until he passed away in 2011. We definitely miss him so much. But we're going to run a race in his honor on September the 17th. It's the Bushwhacker Series. Great series. It's going to be a great one, man. Michigan International and a 250-mile, 125-lap race coming up next week. So it looks like they are going to do restart a warm-up here because we had some drivers meeting info going on. So a little bit of a delay there. First race of the season, a lot of rule changes. So it looks like we have about 7 minutes left to go in the warm-up session. So those guys were doing the driver's meeting. I was obviously working on that. We'll take a look at the success ballast rule this season. First place in a race, next race they have 21 kilograms of mass added to the car. Second place 14 kilograms, and third place would get 7 kilograms of mass added to the car. Now, this is also something that builds up too. So if you get 2 firsts, get first place and then another first place, that third race you got 42 kilograms of ballast, so it can triple actually. So that's the success ballast rule here in the GT3 series. So about 3.5 minutes left to go here in the first race of the season in the High Octane Racing League GT3 series. About a minute and a half left here in the High Octane Racing League GT3 Series warm-up session at Zandvoort. Tonight's race brought to you by EliteHostingUSA.com. If you're interested in an rFactor 2 server, no matter where you are in the world, Elite Hosting USA can find you a server in your local area. Offer 3 self-managed server packages for you for rFactor 2. Also, WordPress hosting. You want a website? You want WordPress support? You go to EliteHostingUSA.com. That's who provides our website here at HighOctaneRacing.net. I've been working on this website. I tell you, very responsive from Elite Hosting, and any questions I have with respect to WordPress and updating plugins and so forth. So very, very helpful. That is EliteHostingUSA.com, not only for servers, but also web space hosting. So it looks like somebody's trying to get back in there. It looks like they had crashed. Game had crashed. So coming back in the server. We're waiting on them. So again, this is Circuit Zandvoort. A little bit of a night race. 50-minute race. So we're waiting on one of the drivers to come in, rejoin, whose game had crashed. So 50-minute race here tonight. This is race number 1 of 8. And this is a great, great track. We're going to add a little twist and make this a night race. So this should be interesting. We got some more racing coming up tonight. California Speedway. The High Octane Racing League Saturday Night Fun. They're kicking it off. Brand new season, 10-race season at Cali. What a great track. Very wide track, fun track. And with these Cup cars, man, this thing is going to be absolutely crazy. So 110 laps there tonight, and I'll be racing in this race. If you'd like to come out and join me, the broadcaster, laying it down in California. And we're waiting on one of our drivers to come back in here. Should be in very, very shortly to get. Thanks for coming in to joining me here on TurnLeftTV. Peace out there. Hope everybody is being kind to one another and having a good weekend. Should be a fun one tonight here at in the GT3 series, and then headed your way a little bit later. We get the Saturday Night Thunder, so that'll be a good one as well. So again, thanks for joining us. Sounds like we may be going. All right, looks like we're going to race for real this time. Here we go.
Attention grid, will all non-essential personnel leave the grid now.
All right, our starting order here tonight. Antti Rossi in the Porsche starts in P1. Dennis Van Em in that Corvette is second. Lucas Simpfner in the Radical will start in the third position. Claudio Bardelli Jr. starts in fourth. Starting in the fifth position is Dmitry Buksha in the Porsche. Nikolai Bezrikov in the Mercedes starts sixth. Spencer Romo starts in the seventh position. Zach Munkasi in the Corvette starts in eighth. Starting in the ninth position is Will Dunbar in the Radical. John Stanley in the Corvette starts in 10th. Alexander Vasilyev starts in the Bentley in the 11th position, and another Bentley, Alexander Zakharov, starts in 12th. Pedro Gomez starting in the 13th position tonight. So that is our starting order. We got a pace lap here, and we're going to get after. You see the lights are already on for these boys. Antti Rossi in the Porsche, starting in P1. Got to own the night. Remember those keys to the race. I'm not going to show them again because John Stanley gave me a hard time in the chat session. Manage your tires, risk versus reward, own the night, and be patient. Van de Ven starting in the second position in that Corvette. You know, he's going to be solid here. Simpfner in third. Now, it shows Simpfner in the Audi, but he's actually running in a Radical. That's just one of the other pieces of bullshit from the game that we get. Sorry. Was that too harsh? All my rFactor 2 friends out there, you guys know this. The struggle is real. Long way around this joint here, so about 4 kilometers, so 4.5 kilometers. So 13 drivers here tonight at Zandvoort. First race of the season. The pace car coming off. Here we go. Getting after it here. In the GT3 series. Starting off at Zandvoort. Go, go, go. Green, green, green. Lovely how they put the camera behind the fence. Antti Rossi out to the lead there. We got a good battle for the second position. Vandeven and Buksha getting after it in P2. Vandeven holding them off in the Corvette, but Buksha in the Porsche looking to try to make that pass. So Antti Rossi is the leader. Dennis Vandeven in second. Dimitri Buksha in the third position. Claudio Bardelli Jr. fourth. Lucas Simpner in the fifth position. Look at Claudio Bardelli Jr. in the McLaren. He's got a little company there behind him. Good race right there. Zakharov and Simpner getting after Zakharov in the Bentley. Now in P5, and he's got to work for that. Looks like he's taking over the fifth position. Simpner back to sixth. Dimitri Buksha is hounding Dennis Vandeven right now. Buksha running in P3. And he is all over that 84 car. Antti Rossi in the Porsche not able to get away either, man. These guys love this track too. Vandeven from the Netherlands. So a little bit of a home field advantage for that 84 car. Currently running in the second position. Take a look at Zakharov here. He is now starting to work on, Claudio Bardelli Jr. Zakharov went to the inside, not able to pull off that pass. Is he going to try to get Bardelli Jr. here on the crossover move? Alexander Zakharov now takes over the fourth position. Bardelli Jr. back to fifth. Zakharov on a mission. Running in the Bentley there. Claudio Bardelli Jr. in the McLaren. He's trying to get around. Not able to do it. Look at this, man. Pedro Gomez has started in the back, and he is making some moves in the Aston Martin. Running in the sixth position. And that is a guy you want to keep behind you, man. As he's going to try to get this spot from Bardelli Jr. all over the McLaren right now. Pedro Gomez pushing hard right and trying to take over P5 from Claudio Bardelli Jr. These guys are getting after it. Oh, they're leaning on each other right there. A little bit of leaning on each other. The McLaren and the Aston Martin. And that Aston Martin, Pedro Gomez had to muscle his way through. Bardelli Jr. now losing another spot. As Pedro Gomez gets through. Now he's got a whole heck of a lot of Nikolai Bezhikov. Bezhikov in the Mercedes in the 23. He said, I'm looking for a challenge, man. I want to switch to another manufacturer. I said, throw the Merc in there. And he has responded. Zachman Casey running in P8. Look at that. Nikolai Bezhikov to the inside of Claudio Bardelli Jr. These guys just ganging up on Bardelli Jr. right now. Bardelli Jr. has got his work cut out for him. And that McLaren, he's hanging tough here, but man, he has been in a hornet's nest. John Stanley's had some trouble there in that Corvette, indicating he might have come around. Let's see what happened to John Stanley. So John Stanley just misses that turn, gets off into the gravel. Spins, sort of a best case scenario for him. He could have gotten into the wall and then really done some damage to that machine. Alexander Vasiliev and Lucas Simpner here battling it out as we see that cluster of cars. Vasiliev running in the ninth position. He's trying to get around Lucas Simpner. He does, so now Vasiliev up to the ninth position. Simpner about back to 10th. Take a look at Antti Rossi continuing to lead. He's stretched out that lead just a little bit as Dennis Vandeven running in the second position. Buksha is in third. Take a look at Will Dunbar in the Radical. Right now running in the... Oh, man! Spencer Romo came around. Did you see that? Spencer Romo came around, and he is in the grass. Man, that car went sideways in a hurry. Oh, my heavens, man. He gets it back on the track, but, man, he made some hard contact with the wall. We'll take a look at this. Take a look at Spencer Romo here as he gets off into the grass just a little bit, and that thing comes around and he smacks the wall. Hard contact for him. My heavens, man, that was hard lick. That was a hard lick. Get another view of this. It just gets off it just touches the grass a little bit, and a little slick right there, and then that thing comes around, and he is not going to save it, and it is hard contact. Hopefully he's okay. Hard contact into the wall. Look at this, some battling it out here just a moment ago. More replay. As Bardelli Jr. trying to hang on there as Alexander Vasiliev getting him a little bit of a nudge. This is for the 8th position. Bardelli Jr. getting that spot. So Antti Rossi, the leader. 1.4 second lead over Dennis Van de Ven. Van de Ven is in a whole lot of hornet's nest right now as Dimitri Buksha is all over the back of him. On board here with Dimitri Buksha. Oh, he muscles it into the turn. Is he going to be able to hold it? Oh, Van de Ven gives him a little bit of a tap. A little bit of a tap there and gets back around. Great crossover move by Dennis Van de Ven. Dimitri Buksha threw that car in there into the turn. A little bit too much, a little wide, and left Van de Ven an opening. But Buksha says, I am not done with you, Dennis Van de Ven. These guys are getting after it. Buksha might have the preferred line here coming into the turn. Oh, man, they're sideways right there. A little bit more extracurricular. A little bit more extracurricular. Oh, my heavens, man. Van de Ven and Buksha getting after it right now. Buksha's there trying to collect his thoughts. Trying to figure out how he's going to attack that 84 car again. Wow, that got wild. That got absolutely wild. Take a look at this replay here. As Buksha goes down, he does a little bit of a crossover right there, and then Van de Ven, oh, a little bit of a kiss. Buksha is fired up right now. So I have a feeling he is going to come back at Dennis Van de Ven and try to get that spot back. See right here, he had a good look at it, had a preferred line coming into the turn, but it got leaned on right here. Got leaned on. Van de Ven says, I don't think so. And takes that spot back. Take a look at Spencer Romo here trying to bounce back after that hard contact. He has had a rough time here. So a little bit of a tough break here for Spencer Romo. We got a good race here. This is Claudio Bardelli Jr. He's now battling Vasiliev. Those guys have sort of swapped positions back and forth several times. We'll take a look at this pass that Vasiliev puts on Bardelli Jr. Bardelli Jr. on the outside on that turn, and Vasiliev in the Bentley picks up that spot. Antti Rossi right now is the class of the field. He's got a 3-second lead, 3.8 second lead over the second place car, Dennis Van de Ven. Zakharov now up into this mix. Alexander Zakharov now in the Bentley. He is caught up to these guys. These guys have been leaning on each other a little bit. And Zakharov now in the Bentley, closing in on these guys. So he has made a race of it. 3-man race here. 2, 3, and 4 And I would suggest to you that Pedro Gomez is going to be in this mix very, very shortly. Right there he is, running in the 5th position. You looking out of the front of his machine. And those guys are getting after it. So 2, 3, and 4. And Zakharov, I think, is trying to get around. This is P8 here, Claudio Bardelli Jr. Zakharov really pushing here in the 4th position. Dimitri Buksha just ahead in that Porsche. Vandeven in the 2nd spot. This is by far the best battle on the track, and this is about ready to be a 4-way battle there. Oh, the Bentley giving that Porsche a little bit of a shove. So Buksha and Zakharov getting after it. Guys probably race a lot of laps with each other. Looking out of the back of Dimitri Buksha's machine at Alexander Zakharov. You know Zakharov's got a tough... Oh, Zakharov! Hard contact into the back of that Porsche. Hard contact into the back of the Porsche. And look who has entered the fray, and that is Pedro Gomez. Pedro Gomez in the Aston Martin. Seeing ahead now. That got a little serious right there. Oh, Zakharov gets that car loose. He can't quite pull off the pass. Boy, he shoved that car in there, but not able to pull off the pass that time by. Take a look at this a moment ago here as Zakharov goes to the inside and the back end, tries to step around on him right there. He barely catches that car as Buksha reclaims that spot. Andy Rossi says, you guys go ahead and race it out. Now I got a 4.5-second lead on you. I'm going to continue to pound away at this race lead. 37 minutes left to go. We have had an action-packed 13 minutes of racing here so far. Got to think that Gomez is going to say, man, I'm going to get around these guys. These guys are going to end up causing me some problems. So the lights are on here at Zandvoort. And look who is on the move. That is Nikolai Bezhikov. He's got the bright lights on, man. Bezhikov trying to blind him with the Mercedes lights. He is now in this mix as well. We got a 5-way battle for P2. Vandeven's kind of running away from these guys a little bit. He's opened up a little bit of a gap. Looking out of the front of Buksha's machine. We'll jump up here with Dennis Vandeven running in the 2nd position. Look at that tight battle right there. 5-way battle. All nose to tail right now. These guys sort of settled down a little bit, trying to adjust to the lighting situation because it's gotten quite a bit darker. So great little battle here. Gomez having some trouble here. Pedro Gomez on the outside. Oh, leaning on him right there. Oh no, Gomez comes around. Gomez comes around and he doesn't hit anything. Gomez does not hit anything unless he's have some more trouble there. But wow, did you see that? Pedro Gomez came around. It looked like there was some contact. Take a look here. Gomez on the outside right there as a 7 car kind of leans on him. And then Gomez comes around, and look at that Bezhikov sneaking through right there. Let's see what Bezhikov saw out in front of his machine. He's going to sneak through this. Oh, he gets out of the throttle and gets through. Holy smokes. Look at this trackside view here as man, you could not have timed that any more perfectly. He got out of the throttle just enough to be able to slip through. Now Vandeven in P2. Kind of scattered that field out a little bit. Look at this. Buksha going to give it another shot in the Porsche. More contact. Buksha down to the inside. He's going to be on the outside of this turn. And Vandeven holding on. Now back to the left here. As Vandeven's got that Porsche all over the back of him. Buksha is in a hurry. He wants to get around this 84. He realizes that other Porsche up there, Andy Rossi, leading the field 6.5 seconds or so, about 6-second lead on these guys. He's continuing to stretch it out, but Buksha's trying to find any way he can to get around this Corvette. He doesn't realize maybe that this is Dennis Vandeven's home turf. And that's going to leave the door open. Buksha's leaving the door open for the Bentley of Alexander Zakharov. Oh, and then more leaning on each other right there. Oh, man, Buksha, they're working the wheel. These guys got into one another again. He loses a spot. Vandeven, there was some contact there, I believe, as well. There was some contact, I believe. Now, Vandeven doesn't lose a spot, but Buksha ends up losing a spot here to the Bentley. So Zakharov's made that pass. Now in P3. Buksha on the outside. Again, these guys are going to stay off of one another. Buksha's got the back end of that car coming around a little bit, and he's going to lose another spot. He got back around, but then they gave it right back up as Zakharov, Johnny on the spot there, and got that spot back. Man, that was a crazy little sequence right there. Go back here and look at this sequence. This is Vandeven. And it looked like Buksha had just slid that car in right there, trying to chop off that turn, and got into Vandeven. Vandeven stays on the gas, gets through the sand, and then those guys, like Zakharov almost got around, but he got around Buksha right there. Zakharov says, thank you very much. We'll take a look out of the front of Zakharov's machine at this whole sequence here. Right there, the contact, and then Zakharov does a great job of just staying in the gas, hitting the turn, a little bit of contact right there with the Bentley and the Porsche. And then Zakharov makes that pass, now up to P3, Buksha now P4. I'm not sure there's going to be a fender left on that machine after he's done. I guess you don't want to see the starting order here. We can probably get that off. Hit the wrong button there. Amateur. Amateur. Bezhikov as patient in P5 in that Mercedes. Not able to pull off that pass on Buksha. We have had a lot of action. Bardelli Jr. retiring his machine. What a bummer there for Bardelli Jr. John Stanley out of the race as well. Tell you what, man, once the lights go down, this thing gets a little bit more challenging. On board here with Nikolai Bezhikov. Bezhikov running in the 5th position. Antti Rossi continuing to walk away from the field. As long as these guys are leaning on each other, he's got an advantage. There is no doubt about that. Speaking of leaning on him, Buksha coming right back. He is all over the back of Zakharov. Uh-oh. Zakharov now on the inside of Dennis Vandeven. Vandeven's now going to give up that spot as Zakharov gets by on board here with Dennis Vandeven. Zakharov now up to the 2nd position. Vandeven trying to hang on to that Bentley here in this Corvette. So can the Corvette hang on to the Bentley of Zakharov? Zakharov looked like he's opened up a little bit of a gap here. And Vandeven in the Corvette now has to deal with that Porsche again. Bezhikov coming down pit lane here at about the 30-minute mark. And we're looking at Alexander Zakharov. So Buksha and Vandeven now getting after it again. Corvette versus Porsche. Looks like the Porsche is going to win that battle this time. Vanderbilt not giving up the fight, though, as look at that right there. The Porsche gets a little bit loose. Maybe leaving the door open. No, he recovers. So Buksha now back up to the third position. Vanderbilt's falling back to fourth. So maybe with that long run, of course, he's been leaned on a little bit. He's been leaning on people a little bit. So very interesting. Lucas Symphony here running in the 8th position. Been pretty quiet night here for him. He and Will Dunbar teaming up. Will Dunbar running in the Radical in the number 88. Right now running in P9. Got Spencer Romo there just behind him. Spencer Romo in the Aston Martin. He's had pretty hard contact with the wall. Now finds himself behind the 8 ball here a little bit. But Antti Rossi, 8-second lead here for him, and he is coming out here and kicking ass and taking names, so to speak. Bezhikov has finished up his pit stop. Now back out on track as we're taking care here of Antti Rossi in the Porsche. Got 7.5-second lead now. So I'll tell you what, once this Bentley got around some of that traffic, he is now closing in on the race leader. So about 7.6 seconds between he and Antti Rossi. So Zakharov here showing that he's got some speed. Buksha's opened up a little bit of a gap on Dennis Vandeven. Buksha's now running in the 3rd position. About a 0.5 second gap between he and Dennis Vandeven. Take a look at Pedro Gomez. He's running behind Dennis Vandeven. Take a look out of the front of his machine. He can see P4, P3 there. And a little bit further up there, P2. So this guy's still running pretty close together considering how much they were actually leaning on each other a little bit earlier. Zachman Casey, here's first race out here in the Corvette. Running in the 7th position. Probably streaming live from his Twitch channel. So having a good little run here. In P7 in the Corvette. So Bedrikov, after coming off pits, now back out on track in the 11th position. Oh, there you go. Vasiliev having some trouble in the Bentley. Vasiliev in P6, and he got that car coming around. Now back out on track. So Vasiliev got sideways, wasn't able to catch the car, but the good news is he does not get into anything. And take a look at Antti Rossi here in the 27 car. He is our race leader. 8-second lead over Alexander Zakharov. Buksha is in 3rd, Vandeven 4th. Gomez is in 5th. I got to wonder, when is Antti Rossi going to bring that car down pit lane? Pretty clear track there for him. No lap traffic. I think Zakharov is on pit lane. Zakharov brought his car down on the pit lane here, so Look at our side-by-side as Alexander Zakharov makes a pit stop. Watching Antti Rossi on that left side. So we know Zakharov's got a good Bentley. So just under 25 minutes left to go in the race. And we have had an action-packed first half of the race. Guys have sort of settled down here, started to think about strategy a little bit more. When to make a pit stop, what tires to take as we see Alexander Zakharov coming back out on track. We see Antti Rossi coming down pit lane. So Antti Rossi, our race leader, making a pit stop here at minute 24. And that gives the race lead to Dmitry Buksha in the Porsche. Van Ven is in second position. Gomez has had some trouble, getting some word that Gomez might have come around. As Antti Rossi makes a pit stop. Going to lose a couple positions with those. Here he comes back out on track, so 46-second pit stop. I guess that's 46 seconds to the next Yahoo. Gomez has come around in the Aston Martin. Climbing all over the... Oh, he gets off into the grass and spins the car. Man, hard contact with the... right side of that car into the wall, and he just got into the grass a little bit. Watch this. He just comes wide off this turn, and he gets up off the curb and gets tangled right there just a little bit into the grass, and it causes that car to come around and makes contact with the wall. My heavens, man. So Dmitry Buksha, the leader. Van Ven in second. Gomez recovering here. Now in fourth position as Vasiliev gets around now. Gomez now on pit lane, probably getting some service done to that machine, getting some repairs done to it. We know he's got some damage from smacking the wall, though I don't think it was too big of a damage for him, but nonetheless, he definitely got into the wall. So we know he has a fast car. We'll take a look at Dmitry Buksha, the race leader, and Pedro Gomez, we know is fast in the Aston Martin. Getting a little bit of a challenge for him coming with the Aston Martin this year. Same thing for Nikolai Bezhikov. Big challenge for him as he decided to go to the Mercedes. As Gomez taking a long time on pit lane. Now coming back out on track. Shown in the 11th position. Take a look at Will Dunbar running in the 7th spot in the Radical. Closing in on Spencer Romo. So this 88 car on board here with him. As he's starting to close in on that Aston Martin as Spencer Romo. Again, another one of those guys who wanted to challenge himself a little bit. And switch over to the Radical. Antti Rossi, who has made a pit stop now behind Will starting to close in on this Radical. We're on board here with Antti Rossi. As he closes in on Will Dunbar in the Radical. Just ahead of him is Spencer Romo running in P6. Out to the outside. Good run here for Antti Rossi in the Porsche. He's going to try to do a little crossover. It looks like Will Dunbar is going to sort of back off here and let him have it. Zach Munkacy in the Corvette. Oh, he misses his turn. He gets off into the kitty litter a little bit and spins this car. Oh, and he backs it into the wall. We see Lucas Simfer going around, picking up that spot. So Luca now up to the second position. So Vandeven back to the race lead in the Corvette. Pedro Gomez there trying to pick up some spots. Looks like he's gained a spot there as Alexander Vasiliev goes on to pit lane. Or actually gives him the spot, it looks like. So Vandeven back to the race lead here in the Corvette. As we've got just under 20 minutes left to go, about 18 and a half minutes, and Spencer Romo has a penalty, so it looks like he's going to have to come down pit lane. So Spencer Romo penalized. I think he was speeding on pit lane. It looks like Spencer Romo having some trouble there. So Dennis Vandeven out to a 41-second lead over Lucas Simfer. I would say that I think Dennis Vandeven probably has to come down pit lane here. Don't remember seeing him pit. I guess there's one way to tell. So there we go. The number of so Antti Rossi, the first car who has made a pit stop. Will Dunbar on pit lane right now. So we see Vandeven, Simfer, and Munkacy all need to make a pit stop. Look at Zach Munkacy recovering a little bit after smacking the wall. A little back end damage for him. He's running in the third position. Alexander Vasiliev now back up to the ninth position in the Bentley. It's like Will Dunbar now coming back off the pit lane onto the track with the Radical. Now in P10. And another guy retired from the race. Looks like Spencer Romo's had some issues. He's retired from the race. Going to finish in P11. So we have three drivers out of the race. As Dennis Vandeven continuing to lead. And he has got to make a pit stop here before it's over with. Munkacy indicating he's going to be coming down pit lane. You see Will Dunbar in the Radical here running in P10 on that right side. Got to be wondering how long is it going to be for Vandeven to make a pit stop. And there's the answer. Not very long. As Vandeven comes down pit lane. I would suggest you that's going to give the race lead to Lucas Simfer. Luca actually driving a Radical here, but as we mentioned earlier, sometimes if you don't delete all the cars off the server, then you end up getting them, and maybe if they're named similarly, they show up in the wrong model. So great little bug in the game. As Antti Rossi starting to close in. Now he's the first car who has made pit stop. He's closing in on Lucas Simpner. So Antti Rossi back to the lead as he gets around Lucas Simpner. Zakharov is in third. Bezrikov up to the fourth position. Buksha is fifth. Take a look at Nikolai Bezrikov in the Mercedes. Running in P4. We know he's got a pretty strong car here tonight. He's about 9 seconds off the race lead, and it has been all Antti Rossi. He came in tonight. We got 14 minutes left to go, but he came into tonight on a mission, as he is now closing in on Will Dunbar. Will running in the 10th position. We've certainly seen some contact here, but not a really excessively rough driving like we've seen with some of these other seasons. Like last season was sort of riddled with guys kind of not respecting one another. There was a lot of conversation in the offseason about that. We have answered by making some rule changes and trying to, kind of reel in some of that rough driving. I think, I speak for the other members of the management saying that, we don't mind a little bit of contact there, but just not stuff dirty where you're spinning people out. If you do spin somebody out, you're going to have to take ownership of that. You're going to be dealt some penalty points now. Some penalty at the next race, I should say. Alexander Vasiliev in the Bentley. Running in the 8th position. Alexander Zakharov here getting around Lucas Simpner, picking up the 2nd position in the Bentley. So now Zakharov is at 4.7 seconds down to the race leader. Can he chip into that race lead? He's got 12 minutes left to do so. Right now running in P2. Again, looking at Bezrikov here running in the 4th position. We'll jump back here to Dmitry Buksha. Running in P5. He has certainly had an eventful race. Now he's up to the 4th position as Lucas Simpner is on pit lane. Dennis Vandeven's led a lot of laps. Led some laps there, and then also held on to P2 for quite a while. Had a great battle with not only Buksha, but also Zakharov was in that mix a little while as well. And also Bezrikov got up in that mix a little bit later. So Dennis Vandeven's had a pretty eventful night. Should be a fun race for him when we talk to him later. Antti Rossi, 5-second lead for him, and he came in tonight into the season on a mission. Wanted the driving sort of cleaned up. Guys to sort of take ownership of their driving style. If they cause an accident, there's going to be some consequences. And he came in tonight ready for Zandvoort. Again, Zach Casey here running in P9. Does a lot of stock car racing for us. And coming out here tonight in the Corvette. And has that Corvette in the 9th position. How about Alexander Vasiliev in the Bentley in his first race out, running in P7. Been a pretty eventful race for him as well. These Bentleys are pretty fast. Just kind of hard for me. You know, I like to drive on the left side of the car. This is a right-hand drive, and I just have a little trouble kind of getting my bearings straight on that. But nonetheless, running in P5, P7, good run here for him. Start off the season. Take a look at Pedro Gomez. He is running in the 6th position. He's sort of bounced back here from a little bit earlier tragedy, so to speak. He's just trying to get a good finish. He knows that maybe this Aston Martin, a little bit weaker car as far as performance than some of these other machines that are out here tonight. The Porsche seem to be pretty strong. The Bentley strong. And how about Nikolai Bezhikov really slunging it out here in the Mercedes. And he's got that car up to the 3rd position. 10 seconds back. So the lead has expanded a little bit as we're taking a look at Alexander Zakharov. It's up to 6.5 seconds. It was about 5.8. So Antti Rossi continuing to open up more of a lead on Zakharov. .3 second now gap between he and Zakharov. Bezhikov is in 3rd, Buksha 4th, Vandeven is in 5th. Again, take a look at Zakharov. Good run here for him. Running in the 2nd position. Again, a very eventful race for him early on. Man, I'll tell you what, that first half of the race, these guys are just leaning on each other lap after lap. Especially, say, the first 15, 20 minutes of that 30-minute or 25-minute stint. Now they sort of settle down. Again, Bezhikov running in P3. We'll take a look at P4. Dmitry Buksha, and he was in the middle of a lot of that early on. Now finds himself 19 seconds back in the 4th position. Vandeven just about 3 seconds back to P4. So Vandeven running in the 5th position here with 6 minutes left to go. Can he close in on the 4th place car and give him a run? A good top 5 run for Dennis Vandeven. Now 5.5 second gap, so that lead is now shrinking as Zakharov starting to close in a little bit. Does he have enough time? He's Going to have a little bit of maybe some mistakes by Antti Rossi to be able to close in. We'll take a look at Zakharov in the Bentley running in P2. Does he have enough time to be able to close in on Antti Rossi? Rossi might be saving his stuff. He says, hey, man, there's no reason for me to push this. Got a pretty good gap here on P2. And the different mindset maybe for Zakharov is he's got to go try to close this gap on Antti Rossi. Bezhikov trying to close in on P2. About 3.7 seconds down to our second place car. So Bezhikov in the Mercedes. Lone Mercedes out of the track. And really doing a great job. He was kind of, not super confident about this car. Felt like this was going to be a challenge for him. And this is the thing I really like about Nikolai Bezhikov is he really puts himself in a car that is going to challenge himself. I mean, he's been, raced the Audi. He raced the Radical one season. And now throwing it out here in the Mercedes. I think he even raced a BMW one season as well, so he's been all over the board. But guys, for the most part, are not huge fans of the Mercedes, but Bezhikov is challenging himself. Zakharov now 5.4 seconds, running out of time here. He's going to have a little help from Antti Rossi. Rossi hooked up here in the Porsche. Looking pretty good from my perspective for Antti Rossi. Try to get a screenshot here. Hey, give us some lights, bro. So Antti Rossi, 5.4 second lead as the time is winding down. Everybody's sort of where they are. Rossi, 2.5 minutes left to go. I don't think he's going to be in a super big hurry. Now 4.9 seconds. I think he's backed off a little bit. So he got out to the race lead early and has not looked back. Sort of avoided some of that hard racing at the start. Did not have to use his stuff up. And with a minute and a half left to go, Antti Rossi looks to be on his way to win number 1 of the season. Zakharov is in second, Bezhikov third, Buksha is in the 4th position, Vandeven in 5th. We had some great battles in that first half of the race, and things sort of got strung out here a little bit. As guys may have used their stuff up and then did pit stops and helped separate some guys, and it looks like he's going to have to do another lap here. So now 5-second gap for Antti Rossi. Just one more circuit of the track, and he is all done but the shouting here. Zakharov now down to 4.5 seconds, so I know Rossi is sort of backing off and saying, hey, man, I don't want to spin out at this point. I got this race in hand. Zakharov wants him to push it. Bezhikov running in P3. Buksha is in the fourth position, and Dennis Vandeven is in fifth. But Antti Rossi is not going to be denied in the Porsche. His time is running out, and across the finish line here, and we will have race number 1 in the books. It's Antti Rossi. Likes this track, good at this track, and decided he was going to come out here and challenge himself tonight with the lights out. The sun goes down and the fin comes out. 3.9 seconds there. Comfortable gap there for Antti Rossi. As he makes that final turn coming across the start-finish line, Antti Rossi is going to get the win here at Zandvoort. Zakharov going to finish in the second position. Bezhikov in third. So congratulations to Antti Rossi on getting the win. Buksha looks like he gets a fourth position. Vandeven fifth. Vandeven's going to be a little disappointed in himself. I know a fifth place finish. I mean, if you ask me, I'd be ecstatic with that. But I know Vandeven probably not going to be too happy with that fifth place finish. Nonetheless, he gets that Corvette up and moving. So the Porsche's strong here tonight. 2 in the top 5. So got a Corvette and a Bentley and a Merc. So Antti Rossi does his victory lap. So congratulations to Antti on the race victory. We'll see if we can't get the final results here. Antti Rossi gets the win in the Porsche. Alexander Zakharov finishes in the second position. Nikolai Bezhikov in the Mercedes finishes third. Dmitry Buksha finishes in the fourth position in the Porsche. Dennis Vandeven in the Corvette finishes in fifth. Pedro Gomez, pretty eventful race there for him, finishes in that sixth position in the Aston Martin. Alexander Vasilyev in his first race out, good run there for him, finishes in seventh in the Bentley. Lucas Simpner in the Radical / Audi finishes in the eighth position. Zachman Casey in the Corvette finishes in P9. Finishing in the 10th position is Will Dunbar in the Radical. Finishing in the 11th position is Spencer Romo. These guys had some trouble, had to retire the machine. Tough break there for Spencer in the Aston Martin. I know he had some trouble and hard contact with the wall. Claudio Bardelli Jr. said he really didn't have a lot of practice for this track, and finishes in the 12th position. John Stanley in the Corvette finishes in 13th. So congratulations to Antti Rossi on getting the win here at Zandvoort. First race of the season. Not a very good picture there, centered, but I was really struggling to find one that was in the light. So again, congratulations to Antti Rossi on getting the win. Well, don't forget, we'll take a look at this season coming up here next week. It's Macau. And that should be a wild track, man. Great city circuit coming up. Not next week, on 25 September. We will be off next week because I have to go take care of my dad. I'm going to spend some time with my father, so should be a fun day. Maybe we'll watch some old races. This would be a good race to watch. But thanks for your understanding. So we'll be back in 2 weeks at Macau on September the 25th for race number 2. Coming up in a little while, we'll be at California Speedway in the Saturday Night Thunder. Race number 1 of the season, 110 laps from Cali. Open setups, 1X tires, 1X fuel setting on that, and a 60% damage rating on that series. So this is coming up tonight at California in the Saturday Night Thunder. I got September 10th on that. It's actually the 11th, so another mess up by the Johnson. I want to say thanks for coming in and joining me here on TurnLeftTV. Very fun race here tonight. Don't forget that Elite Hosting USA brought you the servers here tonight. They have 3 self-managed server packages for you to choose from for your rFactor 2 league. Not only here in the United States, but all around the world. And actually, all those drivers that were joining us here from, we had drivers from Eastern Europe, Asia, South America, and of course the United States and Canada, and all great connections there. So if you're interested in rFactor 2 server, there's plenty of servers available around the world that Elite Hosting USA can provide you. Not only that, but also web hosting with WordPress hosting on your website. Don't forget to, speaking of websites, come on over to highoctaneracing.net and join us there. You'll see current standings, also screenshots and what the drivers are racing throughout running throughout the week. The rFactor 2 live timing. And again, thanks for coming in and joining me here on TurnLeftTV. What a good race it was, man! That first half of the race was absolutely crazy, with 5 cars there vying for a spot. So very, very fun to watch, and I'm excited for Macau here in 2 weeks. Don't really know what to expect from that track. I think it's a little tough to pass there, so should be a good one, and I think it will be one that will bring out a lot of drivers here. Pretty good little start to the season. Things seem to be cleaned up there a little bit. That's promising. I want to say thanks so much to Will Dunbar and all his work on helping organize this series and come up with a schedule and help tweak those rules a little bit. He really listened to the drivers and has responded. So, again, thanks to him. Don't forget to go down to the description of this race and click on that link over to the Fanatec website and help me out here at TurnLeftTV. Thanks for coming in. And you know what that means? That means I am out of here.